Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, September the 11th, 2020. It is currently 11:30 a.m. Central Time, and I'm once again coming to you live from Victory Baptist Church located here in Ovalo, Texas. And I apologize. I needed to take a drink of water, so I'm going to take another one, all right? Thank you. Thank you very much. I apologize for that. Sometimes I hit the red go live button before I'm actually ready to go live. All right. Sometimes I'll be sitting here. I'm like, okay, because if you could see the way it's set up, you pull up the live studio and you have to enter in all your information. You got to give the title of the broadcast. You've got to give a description. You got to put in all your tags. You got to find a photograph that you're going to use, a picture you're going to use, and you have it all ready. And sometimes I'll have it all ready and I'm like, okay. And then I'll just accidentally hit the kind of the mouse pad on the laptop, and I'm like, oh no, wait, it's going live. And then next thing you know, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome, everyone. It's what day is it? Oh, it's Friday. It's September the 11th. And next thing you know, you're live, and then you're trying to take a drink of water, and well, there you are. Yes, not very professional, but I don't have a producer sitting behind the glass looking at me going 3, 2, 1, and I'm pointing at me, letting me know you're live on the air. Go, 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 go. I don't have that. This is not a very professional setup. It's me sitting at a table, sitting in front of a microphone with a laptop to my left and 9,227 bottles of water all around me and books scattered everywhere. Yeah, that's what you get. I mean, I know I don't have the budget of mainstream media. I don't have the budget of other big theology podcasts. It's just me in front of a microphone. You get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. And because the podcast is free. So, all right. So there we have it. But I'm here to talk about something important this morning, all right? Because I was sitting here, I was getting the audio file ready for a different podcast episode on a different topic. And I saw a notification, and once I saw this notification, I pulled up the article and I'm like, oh, that's pretty convicting. That's a probably very good reminder that we all need to hear right now. So I grabbed it, I copied it, and I put it over in my notes on my iPad. And well, we're just going to share this with you, and hopefully you find this to be beneficial. All right. Here is the story. Hank Hansen's, that's his name, Hank Hansen's dream house was one of the 700 homes and other structures destroyed in the massive wildfires in Northern California a couple of weeks ago. What firefighting officials are calling a lightning siege, some 12,000 lightning strikes have produced more than 500 wildfires. The 13,700 firefighters have not been able to control them. Hansen, now 81 years of age, spent 30 years. I want you to hear that. He spent 30 years building his 3,000 square foot dream house nestled in the lovely mountains of Northern California. Now, let me stop right there. I don't know how big 3,000 square foot is. I don't know if that's big. I don't know if that's huge. I don't know. He spent 30 years building it. So that, I don't know what that is. That gigantic? Is that big? You may say you should know this. That's just not my world. I don't operate in that world. If you were to ask me how many square feet my current home has, I have no idea. Don't know. I really don't care, right? Maybe I should care, but I don't. If I went, how many square feet? Square feet. What does that mean? If someone's your church building, how many square feet? I don't know. I don't have a clue. So, but he spent 30 years, 3,000 square foot dream house. I'm assuming if this makes the news, it has to be a pretty big house. All right. So let's get this again. All right. So he's 81 years of age. He spent 30 years building his 3,000 square foot house. They also have, in parentheses, 279 square meter. All right. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. The dream house is nestled in the lovely mountains of Northern California with a wine cellar, 3 fireplaces, and indoor and outdoor pools. Okay, and indoor and outdoor pools. They've got plural for outdoor pools And so maybe it's just the fact that there's one indoor pool, one outdoor pool. So there's two pools. Maybe that's what they mean. I don't know to be exact. He says he has no plans to rebuild. He says he has no plans to rebuild. I wouldn't want to do it on a lesser scale, and I don't have time to top the old one. And this comes to us from ABC News. And the title of the story was California Dream House. So the California Dream House, 3,000 square foot, 3 fireplaces, a wine cellar, indoor and outdoor pools, all burnt up, all just gone. And please note, he spent 30 years of his life working on it. 30 years of his life. I don't know how much money, I don't know how much time, I don't know how much effort, but 30 years, I don't know what the total time and all of that, but just think about it. 30 years. Let's say it was day after day, week after week. Let's say he took the weekends off, or maybe he worked during the week and then every weekend was dedicated to working on the house. Well, I don't know how many hours, but I know that was a large portion probably of the person's life, taking up hour after hour, day after day, working on a house that all just burnt up. Gone. And there was nothing he could do because it sounded like these wildfires were started by a lightning siege. Thousands of strikes of lightning sparking all of these wildfires. So it was out of his control. He didn't have anything to do with it. They obviously, the firefighters could not control them. They lost control of the fires. They spread and they burned all of these homes down. But this particular home caught the attention of the news. Maybe because it was a dream house, maybe because of its size, maybe because he spent 30 years working on it, but whatever it was, it caught the attention of the news. But when I heard this, I just stopped and wait a minute, man, 30 years of work to see, gone. 30 years of how many hours of that? Although during that time he was working on the dream house, he could have been doing other things, pursuing other things, doing other things. But he spent all of that time and money on a house that just went up in flames. Now, I'm assuming he has insurance, assuming he's going to get, I don't know, something back. I'm hoping he'll be taken care of financially. Obviously, you don't want to see the person's life destroyed. He's 81 years of age. He obviously doesn't have the ability to spend 30 more years rebuilding another home. And like you said, he can't top the last one. But the more I kept reading it, 30 years of work gone. 30 years just burnt up. 30 years pursuing something that just is now just dust. It's just ashes. There's nothing left. It's just gone. So what does he have to show for all of that 30 years? He has very little. Now, maybe he enjoyed working on it for 30 years, so he had the enjoyment of it. I don't know, but it's hard to wrap my mind around that all of that time, and that's what you have left is nothing. But then I started thinking about it. This is a reminder to you and to me about the perspective we need to have. This is very important from a Christian perspective. Everything is going to burn up. Everything is going to burn up. This world is going to burn up. Our hope is not on this earth. Our hope is not for this earth. Our hope is a new heavens and a new earth. This is all going to burn up. This world is going to pass away. And what we have a tendency to do is become so preoccupied that we spend all of our time and all of our effort and we work for something here, for material possessions, to have this, to get this, to do this, to accomplish this, to get this certificate, to get this degree, to get this job position, to get this. And then we go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we get caught up in all of the office politics and all of the issues. And we get upset about this and this person irritates me. And we get mad and we have bad days and we fight and we're moving and we're trying to get this position, trying to get this raise. We're working on this, working. And listen, it's all going to burn up. And even if you're not here to see it all burn up, you're going to die and leave it all behind. But this is very important. Everything that you think is so important right now, getting that position, this problem in the office, this problem at your job, all of these things that you think are so important, in the long run, they mean almost nothing. I've told the story a million times. I've always had this awareness. Maybe I don't know exactly why I developed this awareness at such an early age, but I've always had this awareness that, man, life is crazy short. It's crazy, crazy short. And I don't want to waste a second of it. I don't want to waste a second of it sleeping. I don't want to waste a second of it doing anything I don't want to do. I'm very I can't even explain to you how the awareness of time is in my mind. Like I am painfully aware of every second of every day. And I realize that, hey, that second, gone. I can't get that second back. What was I doing for that second? Was I doing something I wanted to do, or was I wasting it? You work and you work and you work. And I've told the story, and I'm going to say it again. 22 total years. 19 years of active duty. Then I got medically retired because of the anthrax and everything that happened and the seizures. I'm not going to go through all that. But so I didn't make it to 20, but I got medically retired. So I got my retirement. Thank God that I got my retirement. Took 2 years for me to get my disability because the military was like, this anthrax thing, we don't really want to talk about this. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's your fault. So, okay. So finally it all worked out finally. But so after my military career came to a crashing halt, it's always crazy when you're sitting at your desk, you get an email, you look, boom. And it basically says, this letter is to inform you, Sergeant Hammock, that your military career is over. You're going to be medically retired in 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I mean, like I'm sitting at work and I don't even get told in person. I get an email basically saying your military career is over. 19 years of service, it's over. You're done. You're finished. And you're like, whoa, wait, what just happened? And like, it's all over. 19 years just gone. It's just, and so now all of those things that I may have been worried about for 19 years, it was over. But before I got that email, I was already painfully aware, because this is the story I keep trying to get to and I keep getting distracted. This is what would happen. In the military, when people retire, they usually have a retirement ceremony. Now, I chose not to have a retirement ceremony because I thought it was an absolutely waste of time and I don't think it means anything. But that's my whole always going against the flow. Everyone else does it. You can pretty much guarantee I'm not going to do it. Okay. But that's a whole different podcast episode. But I would get forced to go to these retirement ceremonies because the military has a way of saying, you're going to go. All right. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my way. And you go sit there, go through the whole retirement ceremony. You would watch it. There's a cake. They get a card. Everybody's like, yay. They get it like a shadow box. Maybe it has a flag and all of their medals in it. Look at all the things they accomplished. Someone will stand up and talk about all of the things that they accomplished in their military career. Yay. Ooh, you did awesome. You did awesome. Okay. Then they grab all of their stuff. They walk out. And as soon as they started walking out, I would always run up to like the third floor of the hospital, right? Where I could overlook the entrance. And then I would watch them walk out. They would walk out carrying their shadow box, carrying their card. Maybe they're with their family. You walk out. Sometimes you would kind of see them stop and look back because they know it's over. They're done. They're never walking back into that building. Some of them have spent 10 years in that building, 15 years in that building, whatever the case may be. And it's over. And they walk down there and then you walk down, you go back. And so I would stand and watch them walk away and just like, that's over. All the things that they worried about at work, all the things they fought about, all of the things they strived for, it's over. It's gone. It's done. And he would go back and guess what? By a day, 2 days, 3 days, nobody even mentions the person. Maybe every once in a while a story will come up, but it takes a very short time. They've already moved into that person's office. They've already taken over that office. Everyone's moved on. Their duties are now someone else's duties. Whatever they accomplished in their military career, nobody remembers. Nobody cares. And sometimes you would see those people who retire, they would come back to the hospital like a lot. At first, they come back. And then, like they come back to get their medication and then they'll walk around trying to talk to everyone, because that's what they're used to doing. Then because of the way the military works, new people come in, old people leave, and you give it about 6 months or a year, they come back to the hospital. Guess what? Nobody there even knows who they are because most of the people who worked with them they possibly have, PCS moved on to different duty stations. They're gone. And so now, especially about 2 years, they walk into that hospital, nobody knows who they were. Nobody cares. They could have been the one who set up the clinic here. They could be the one who did this. Nobody knows who they are. No, none of their accomplishments are remembered. Nobody cares. All that you did, it's gone. Now, it wasn't a literal fire that burnt it up, but it's just ashes now. It's just memories. It's just gone. And all of those things that you thought were so important on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday while you were at work, now you realize maybe it wasn't as important as you thought. All of that time, all of that energy, all of that focus, you realize it's just ended. And it's just like this dream house, 30 years of work, gone. 20 years of work. It's It's just ashes now. It's just a faded memory. Right now, I could get in my car, drive to Dyess Air Force Base, walk into a hospital that I spent over half of my military career in. I did so many things there, so many things I set up. I was in charge of this. I can walk into that hospital now. There may be only 1 or 2 people left in that building who even have any idea who I was and who worked with me when I was there. Everyone else in that building, they don't care who I am. My name means nothing. I can walk up anywhere. They don't know who I am. They don't care who I am. They could be sitting in my former office. They could be working in a clinic that I helped set up. They could be utilizing things that I literally helped create. They don't know. My name is irrelevant. I am nobody now. I'm just another patient if I walk into that building. I have no connections. I have no way of getting in. Nothing. I'm nobody. And so anything that I did there doesn't matter. I can walk around and go, oh, I remember setting that up, or like I'll call in, or after I have an appointment at the hospital. I don't go to that hospital anymore, but if I go to the hospital after your appointment, about 2 days later, you get a phone survey, electronic phone survey that calls and asks you some questions about your visit to determine if you were pleased with your visit. Did you get your medication? Did the doctor do this? Did the nurses do this? Did they ask you this? Trying to ensure that they're getting proper care and that they were satisfied with their visit. Well, all of the questions asked in that electronic phone call, I'm the one who wrote those questions. I'm the one who set that up. I'm the one who came up with the whole idea to try to get a better measurement of patient satisfaction to ensure that we were providing a correct service to the. I'm the one who set it up. Do you think anyone there now knows that? No. Do you think anyone there now cares? No. It's just crazy. But that's the way it works. It just burns up. And what we have a tendency to do as Christians is we forget that it's all going to burn up. We waste time. We get preoccupied pursuing one thing, thinking it's all important, and it's all going to go away. It's all going to go away. We have a story in the Bible and the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12. We'll go back to verse 13 because this is what really sparks the parable, the story that Jesus is going to tell. Luke chapter 12, verse 13. Luke chapter 12, verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divideth the inheritance with me. All right. Now, Jesus had been doing some teaching. This person almost interrupts Jesus' teaching to say, hey, and it's an unrelated subject. He's like, hey, Jesus, hey, could you speak to my brother that he divide his inheritance with me? Hey, can you use your religious authority to speak to my brother that he divides his inheritance with me? So he's preoccupied with something pertaining to this world. He's having an issue with his brother. He wants it resolved because he wants some inheritance. And then what does Jesus say unto him in verse 14? This is Luke chapter 12, verse 14. He said, man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? Why are you asking me to do this? And he said unto them, now Jesus, he stops speaking to the man. He speaks to everyone present because he's going to use this as a chance to teach a lesson. Take heed, and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Your life, there's more to your life than the things you possess. There's more to your life than your degree, than your job title, than the money you make. All of that, your life is more than that. There's something more to it, and you may not realize it. And here's the reason we don't realize it. We become blinded by the physical and the material, and we forget the spiritual. There is an eternity. And you can spend all of your time like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and you pursue it, and you pursue it. But what are you pursuing from a spiritual perspective? Who are you discipling? Who are you evangelizing? Who are you ministering to? Who are you helping spiritually? How are you helping the church? How are you advancing the kingdom of God? How are you storing up for yourself treasures in heaven? What are you working for? What are you striving for? For a little bit of popularity, a little bit of notoriety, a little bit of fame, a hobby becomes the dominant force in your entire life. That's what you're gonna sacrifice everything else for that hobby. Everything else doesn't matter. Your life consists of more than the things you possess. It consists of more things than are in this physical world. And so then Jesus spoke a parable. And he said unto them, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns, build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and all my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much good laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall these things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and not rich towards God. We need to be rich towards God. We need to be storing our treasures for heaven. We need to stop being preoccupied with everything here. 30 years to build a dream house that burns up in an instant. And it's out of his control because of lightning strikes. He doesn't even have the ability to control it. That's how little control we actually have in our lives. Everything seems to be in control. Boom, a pandemic strikes. Next thing you know, you've lost your job. Next thing you know, you're sick. Next thing you know, tragedy strikes your family. You never know when it's going to happen because nothing is guaranteed here. Our perspective has to be an eternal one, not an earthly one. Our perspective needs to be an eternal one, not a temporal one. We need to be more preoccupied about what we're building in heaven, the treasures we're building there. What are we doing from a spiritual perspective instead of spending 30 years building an earthly home that's all going to burn up? We have another very important passage to kind of build on this idea. You know this one. We've talked about this one a lot. 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And we usually put a lot of emphasis on that. Hey, don't love the things in the world. All that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. We try to figure out what that is. We connect that back to Genesis 3 and the temptation that Eve encountered. We do a lot of work on that, but we sometimes forget verse 17. Right? 1 John chapter 2, verse 17. So that was 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. 1 John 2, 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. And then verse 17, sometimes we overlook this. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. We need that perspective. Everything in the world's going to pass away. Everything in the world's going to burn up. Your dream house is going to burn up. Your dream career is going to burn up. Your dream material possession is going to burn up. Your dream career goal is going to burn up. Your dream accomplishment is going to burn up. It's all going to go up in flames. It's going to be a pile of ashes. I forget that. You forget that. Let us not forget it. Let us be reminded today by a news story about a dream house in California burns up. 30 years working on it. Not going to be able to rebuild it. He's 81 years of age. No way he's got another 30 years to rebuild it. He's not going to be able to top that. So it's over. It's gone. He's never going to have that house back. He's 81, probably doesn't have a lot more time left on the planet Earth as it is. So what did he build in those 30 years for eternity? What did he build for eternity? What treasure did he lay up in heaven? Is he rich towards God? I don't know. How much time did he waste that he can't get back? He's 81. He can't get that time back. Now, maybe that was his hobby and maybe it brought great joy in his life. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work. A lot of work to just watch it all burn up in front of your very eyes. Are you rich towards God today? Have you stored up treasures in heaven? What are you pursuing? Where is your love? Something to think about. You can contact me with your thoughts. newsif@yahoo.com. 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 All right. Thanks for listening to this devotional thought, and I pray that God will use it to convict you and to convict me and get our perspective correct. God bless.